to me, I will be fine. Talk to me, and you will be fine. Choops, choops, choops. Welcome again, welcome again. So now I thought, okay, we've been talking about your money identity a lot, but where does this money come from? Where does it come from? So I thought today we should look at two ways of earning money: the passive income and the active income, right? Look at earning like a family meeting. When you get to a family meeting, you have some family members who talk a lot, you have some who don't talk. Okay, I'm just thinking of my own family now, my own house. Obviously, I'm an active income because I talk and I'm very proud to be talking. Don't judge me, please. If you have to judge me, then you don't have to be here. My name is Victorine Bongshu, and I am here today to make us understand the various streams of income, right? Income broadly falls under two categories, like I said, the active and the passive. So active is the money that you spend by actively putting in time, putting in energy, and putting in your skills. You know, if you stop putting in these three, that money stops to come. That is why it is active. You are actively working for it. You're actively making sure that you earn it. If you stop, it stops. And that is where many people are. Majority of the people on this planet, they live and operate on active income. And active income is through a salary because you have a job. It's through wages because you're working part-time or you're too young to work, but you work anyway. It's through freelancing. I do a lot of freelance writing. So my active income, is from freelance writing. And also from part-time work sometimes. It's through tutoring. I don't tutor per se, but I coach people to write. So I write freelance and I coach people to write. It's hair. Like if I do hair, it can actually give me an active income. If I do nails, if I do beauty, you see my face needs some beauty, right? Oh my God, how did I forget my earrings today? Yes, all of those, they give you active income. Running errands for a fee. I see today there are people who pick and drop off people, not as transportation, but as errand or pick and drop off things, and they get paid. So if you shut down your active activities, your money stops. Yes, that is active income. Let's look at passive income. Passive income is money that comes in even when you sleep. You don't actively work for that money. You don't put in your immediate skills and knowledge, but it doesn't mean you did not or you will not. It is something that you have set up to be making money, and then you come. So look at it like you are a babysitter to a baby. You're actively not breathing air for that baby. You're not eating food for that baby, but you make sure that you cook the food that baby eats. You make sure that you put that baby in a space that the air or oxygen is clean for them. So a passive income becomes like a babysitter, while an active income is the baby itself. So your babysitter is the way that you are earning money by not working for them. You create something once and then you go to that thing just to maintain or to observe while that thing gives you money. An example of myself is a property. I have invested in properties that I get money from. An example that other people have is dividends. They have dividends that they earn. Another example is books or courses, like what I'm doing now. These courses, I'm hoping to earn passive income from it. When you share a lot, please share right now. When you subscribe and then and it gets to the required amount for YouTube, then I start earning money through my YouTube channel, you see. So that is passive income because I don't actively manage YouTube. And then when you get interest from your savings or investments, so you can have a property that brings you money but doesn't really bring you a lot of money. We cannot really call that an investment because the money is not yet yielding, but it brings you some income, right? Okay, I don't know if I'm right here, I'm wrong here. Let me not put that. Yeah, but selling digital products, for instance, I'm an author. So my books bring me passive income as well because I don't actively write for every time that someone buys a book. I wrote the book one time and everyone is and people buy all the time. So that is another passive income of mine. People have different kinds of passive income that keep them going, and you sort of are in a situation where money says to you, relax, I am working, sleep, I am working. So please, let's all aim to have this. And then salary and business or an investment. Young people love passive income, right? But they don't know how much you have to put in to get it. So I implore you to actually make sure that you put in a lot of effort so you can get, So each income path has its own benefit, and each of them come with their own responsibilities as well. Let's look at salary. Do you want to have a salary or you want to have a business like myself? It does not mean that business owners don't earn. Or do you want to have an investment? It also does not mean that investors don't earn. It just means that sometimes it might not be as fixed as salaries are, and it might not be as timely as salaries are. So your salary, if they say they're going to pay you 80,000 a month, you most likely get your 80,000 a month. But if you're running a business or you have an investment, you can have 80,000 this month, the next month 20,000, another month 50,000, another month 600,000. So how do you structure your income, or is this still income? I just thought in this slot, since I'm talking about income, I should give you the benefits and not benefit of each of them. Like I said, income, business, and investment, you find there that your earning could be stable. So there's stability if you have any of these three. And then you have, for many others, they have other benefits, security benefits. I'm sure you remember there's a slide where I said to you, money brings me security. So you have security benefits like medical aid, like like unemployment insurance, like pension, like risk covers and all those things. You have car allowances, you have home allowances and all that. Of course, whether you're in a salary or not, sometimes there is limitation. So the challenge is with being on a salary only, although you have your stability and you have your insurance and you have your car cover or home cover, there's a limited amount that you can earn. Like I said earlier, if it's at 80,000 or 60,000, it ends there. There is controlled growth. If you're salaried, you cannot grow as you want. The organization controls that for you, and you are employing another person's vision, not necessarily your vision. This is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it is bad. I'm just giving you the or good. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just giving you the various ways of earning. And then business income. With business, your earning potentials are unlimited. You have full control. You build something for yourself by yourself. The challenges here are that the income is inconsistent. You have high responsibility of risk, and then it requires a lot of discipline and a lot of hustling. I can't tell you how many days I've gone hungry, or how many months, or how many years, to a point where one of my colleagues once asked me, if it's not going, why are you in business? So there are lots of challenges to the point where you really ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth the challenge? And then investment is quite good. And they always say investment is king, right? Of course, investment is king. Investment comes from shares. It comes from properties. It comes from money market. It comes from things like unit trust. It comes from things like index fund. And I'm not going to tell you that there's disadvantages and advantages of investment, because I really think an investment is like a tree where you plant one seed and it gives you many fruits. It also gives you shade before it even gives you those fruits, So I gave an example of my daughter. I took her emergency fund money, all of it, and spent it and paid it back after 1 week with a bit of interest. And she was so relieved. She told me for the 1 week she had panic attack because she was wondering what would happen to her if she got into an emergency and didn't have her own money to cover. So you can tell that money was already giving her shade. And then the extra money that I gave her when I paid, or that the bank gives her when the money is in the bank, that is her fruits that she's getting from there. So try and make sure that your money gives you shed and that you have fruits in future from that also. Relying on one income is very risky. So try and always diversify to have many other income streams. What I mean here is that as a young person, as a parent, we should teach ourselves that anytime we can lose our job, at any time we can be sick, and at any time a COVID-19 can happen. There can be unexpected disasters. We can suffer from stress or burnout. There is inflation and so on that one or two incomes might not be able to cover. So what do? We create other sources of income, no matter how small they are. One of my books sells for 220 Rand, but I tell you, I kid you not, there are days where somebody buys a book for 220 Rand and that solves a problem that I've been unable to solve for 1 week financially. So there is no small income. I want you to know that when the wind blows, there's an African proverb that says, when the wind blows, no branch is too safe. What am I saying? When danger arrives or when the need for money occurs, if you have not kept away some money, you can never be too strong to be hit. So please, as you listen to this, before you even share this or before you subscribe to this YouTube channel, kindly start mapping your strategy on how to on how to earn more, on how to save more, and how to invest more. You can earn more by being a salaried worker and then having a side hustle, by being a business person and then having a side hustle, or by investing as a side hustle. So you still are a salary worker, you have an investment that covers for you tomorrow. You're a business owner, you have an investment, and so forth. Please do not ignore the power of extra income. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again.